Hey there, I'm Alan Hain, the Lawn Care Nut, and today I'm going to take care of one of your greatest fears, and that is the fear of burning the lawn. So today I'm going to show you a foolproof way of how to apply fertilizer, granular fertilizer, with any spreader, using any fertilizer, and have absolutely no fear of burning your lawn. But before we do that, let me talk to you about how people actually end up burning their lawns, so then I can show you how we're not going to do it with this method.
Okay, so first and foremost, let's talk about why most people have a fear of burning the lawn with granular fertilizer. And that comes down to terms that you'll hear like, this is a synthetic fertilizer, or this is a quick release fertilizer, or they'll look at the numbers on the bag and they know that stands for nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and they'll see that first one of nitrogen at like a 30 or a 24 or a 28 or even higher. And they'll think, because that nitrogen is high, that gives me potential to burn my lawn. But I want to kind of take that out of the mix right now and explain how fertilizer actually works. If you remember in a video a couple weeks ago, I showed you there's a difference in natural and synthetic fertilizers. Remember, synthetic scares people. So I showed you that as a human, you can get all of your nutrients from eating a lot of broccoli, but you'd have to eat quite a bit of broccoli to get a lot of nutrients for a day. Or you can take a synthetic form of nutrients like these vitamins right here, and none of you would be scared to take one of these, and this has like 100%, sometimes 300% of like everything for a day. So to be concerned about something because it's synthetic, think about it that way. You're putting that in your stomach, and maybe you have to follow some extra instructions with this, like take it with water, but other than that, you wouldn't have a fear of putting this in. And that's the same way that it goes with these synthetic fertilizers. As long as you follow the instructions and take the right amount or put down the right amount, you're not going to have any problem at all. So then you might ask, well, then how do you end up burning the lawn? And I'll take you back to that vitamin there. Let's say you're supposed to take one a day, but you actually took two. Would you be concerned about that? Probably not. What if you ended up taking 3 of those synthetic vitamins? Would you be concerned about that? Probably not. Maybe your stomach might burn a little, but yeah, you'll probably be okay. What about 4 or 5? You get where I'm going. What about the whole bottle? Now you're definitely burning your stomach up pretty good, and you're going to have an issue, aren't you? And that's the same thing with these vitamin synthetic fertilizers that you get. If you apply them too heavy, way too heavy, that's when you have a burn problem. So that's what this video is about, is I'm going to show you how not to burn your lawn. So next, let's then look at the ways that people do end up burning the lawn, so that way we can avoid actually burning the lawn by using this method I'm going to teach you in this video.
You can see here I actually was trying to take a thumbnail shot for another video. I had this little spreader here full of about 4 pounds of fertilizer. It tumped over. That's a spill spot. There is absolutely, you can still see there's still some in there. And that's going to keep going. I'll show you how to fix that in another video, but this is something that I can't help you with. The only way to avoid spill burns is to just not spill fertilizer. So yeah, that one's pretty obvious, but I just wanted to cover it. So that takes care of the first way that people burn their lawns. I think you and I got that one straight. You're just not going to spill anything and you're going to be fine there, right? Okay, now real quick, there's one other thing I can't protect you from, and that is leaks. So if something is loose under here and is allowing escapage or whatever, and it's pissing out the bottom and leaving a trail, that's also going to burn. And so the other thing I recommend is you do get a good quality spreader. I'll link to this one. You can get this at Echo dealers as well as online. It's affordable, but it's not cheap, but it does work, and it's a good quality spreader. I'll link up there in the eye to a video review I did of this spreader. So one thing I recommend you do, pour a little fertilizer into your spreader and then just move it around and see if it leaks. You can see I'm not actuating the handle because that would open it. So you can see nothing leaking. Now things can still leak while you're actually applying. Once you actuate this handle, if something opens up weird in there or something's been bent, then yeah, stuff can leak out the bottom, and you may not see it because you're way up here and it's leaking out down here. So most of y'all have an old phone or even a GoPro. I recommend you film yourself making your application. There's a lot of reasons why I recommend that. It'll definitely help you to get better and understand exactly what you're doing when you're out there. But then later down the road, say after a week later, if you do see that you have spots that burned in trails or whatever, you can go back and review the video tape and see if you noticed any leaks that were happening while you're making your application. Okay, so I get it. It's pretty logical. We're not going to spill. We're not going to leak. Makes sense. Now let's go and show you how people typically make an application of fertilizer, and then I'll show you how they end up burning the lawn because of the way they make the application. This is really what you came to this video for. Here we go. So you get your bag of fertilizer, in this case a 45-pounder. This bag is actually meant to do this entire lawn and still have some left over. What folks do is they look on the bag, they see the spreader setting,
They set their spreader, they pour the entire bag in, and they go to town ready to treat their lawn, figuring whatever's left over, I'll just dump in a bucket and use it the next time. But to their surprise, instead of getting the entire lawn done and having a whole lot left over, they actually only get one small section done and realize, oh no, my entire spreader is empty.
All right, so there's a few different reasons why this happens, and if you check the comments below, you'll see people that'll tell you, yeah, I did that same thing. What it is most of the time is they're walking too slow. The walking speed that we want is 3.5 miles per hour, or what I call a double fast walk, or putting some ass into it. I got lots of videos that talk about that, but the tendency of people is to walk slower because they think they have more control, but gravity doesn't change. The same amount of fertilizer is still dropping out, so if you're walking slower, there's just a lot more getting dropped, and that's how that usually happens. Another way that it happens is the overlap is incorrect. The overlap is you're supposed to throw back to the wheel tracks of the previous pass. I know it sounds like I'm getting really complicated, but it's not really that bad. But that'll happen. People overlap too much. And then the third one is, well, their spreader is just off. Even though they have the setting right, it's a piece of plastic. It got banged around in the garage and something got off, or a piece of plastic moved or broke, and way more is dumping out than should. Those are the main reasons why this particular scenario of too much coming out way too fast and only doing a small section, that's why that usually happens.
And this is where people panic and they'll send me an email and ask me, is my lawn gonna burn? And between you and me and the internet, there really is no way for me to know, because I don't know exactly how much fertilizer went down on what square footage. All I can tell you to do is water a lot and hope for the best.
So the easiest way to keep this from happening is to just not dump the entire bag in. You can still trust your spreader setting all you want. I got plenty of videos where I show you how to calibrate a spreader, and I recommend you do that. I'll link up there in the eye. But I already know 99% of the grit eating world, the fertilizer spreading world, is not going to calibrate their spreader. You're going to do exactly what I just showed. You're going to dump fertilizer in and you're going to go. And mostly you're going to be okay, by the way. So the way to avoid burning, the number one way to avoid burning this way, is to not dump the entire bag in. Just dump in like a quarter of it.
Or instead of buying the big bag, buy the little bag. There's a whole lot less burn potential in this bag than that one, right? It's kind of logical.
Now again, I don't want you to have an unhealthy fear of these fertilizers. I think I've already illustrated to you that you don't need to be scared of them, but seriously, just don't dump the whole bag in. Just eyeball it. Dump a quarter of the bag, an eighth of the bag. It'd be better to come up short than too heavy, right? So that's it. That's the tip. Just don't dump the whole bag in. I know that doesn't sound too profound, but if you saw the number of emails that I get from people that did that, you would see why this is so important. Now, there is a lot more we can do to get a lot more technical, and you can actually dial this in and be super precision with your applications, and I actually recommend that you do that. However, like I'm trying to say here, I know what 99% of you all do. You will never measure your lawn. You will never do any calibration. You're just going to set it and forget it, and you're going to go. And so that's why I made this video, because I'm going to help you all, the majority of folks, not burn your lawn. Now, for those of you that do want to go deeper, you do want to learn more. You're like, yeah, I want to understand why you're saying all this, why overlap this way, all of these things. I actually have training. It's called Yard Care Bootcamp. I'll link it below. It's step-by-step training, not on just how to apply fertilizer, but why. We go into liquids, granulars, we go into fungicides, watering, mowing, grass types. If you don't even know your grass type, this training will help you find that. It's all of these things that will take you through step by step by step to really teach you how to understand your lawn, so then you can be a little bit more of an advanced DIYer. So for that beginning training, check that out below. For the rest of you, thank you so much for watching. Hope this video has been interesting to you. Hope you've learned a little something. Hope you've enjoyed the teaching portion of it. And I hope that overall you have a green lawn, and this year you get to enjoy mini mows, and I'll see you in the lawn.